Tears for Fears, The Tipping Point, Conquered Rating, Verdict, Worth Shouting About Avril Lavigne, Love Sucks, Parlophone Rating, Verdict, Rides the Punky Pop Wave Johnny Marr, Fever Dreams PTS 1-4, BMG Rating, Verdict, Works Up a Sweat as fully paid up members of the 1980s pop club. Tears for Fears could have played the nostalgia card on their first album in 18 years. With hits such as Shout and Everybody Wants to Rule the World in their repertoire, the duo could easily have reimagined some of their old songs and signed up for a legacy tour. But Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith have never wanted to tie themselves to a specific decade, and The Tipping Point vindicates their decision to shun the heritage circuit. It's a purposeful, adventurous return that shows why the two former classmates from Bath have become an unlikely touchstone for cutting-edge acts such as The Weeknd, Drake, and Lorde, all of whom have covered or sampled their music. Orzabal and Smith, both 60, have form when it comes to taking their time. But even by their standards, The Tipping Point has not been easy. An attempt at modernizing their sound by working with younger, trendier collaborators hit the buffers. Kurt considered quitting. Then the pandemic arrived. Roland also had to contend with the grief of losing his wife Caroline, who died in 2017 after a long illness. Several numbers, including the title track and the heart-wrenching Please Be Happy, were written as he watched her condition worsen, and it's impossible not to be moved by the raw emotion in songs informed by his anguish. Not that The Tipping Point is gloomy. Guitarist Roland and bassist Kurt, who both also sing and play keyboards, combine ambitious arrangements with catchy choruses. They begin with a curveball. Their hits of the 1980s were either somber electronic singles like Mad World or big pop numbers like The Seeds of Love. No Small Thing is neither. An Ode to Freedom, Take a Trip to America, Let the Wind Blow Right Through Your Hair, it harks back to 1970s folk rock. But Terry's familiarity, too. The title track, on which Roland recalls sitting by his wife's hospital bed, addresses the fragility of life, but does so against a rhythmic backdrop that will take fans back to the synth-driven shuffle of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's a classic Tears for Fears double whammy of emotional heft and pop accessibility. Rivers of Mercy, which begins with the sound of a police siren and an exploding tear gas canister, is the closest they get to a protest song, albeit the most polite protest song since Coldplay tried something similar with Trouble in Town in 2019. Elsewhere, Master Plan is a melodic dig at a former manager and Break the Man echoes 1989's Woman in Chains in addressing sexual inequality. Wolverhampton vocalist Karina Round guests on Long, Long Time, her harmonies adding fresh layers to the duo's vocals, just as soul singer Alita Adams did in the 1980s. Orzabal and Smith say they spent 7 years getting this return just right. It was time well spent, the heritage circuit can live without them for now. Avril Lavigne has timed her latest comeback well. Having broken through 20 years ago with the teenage drama of Complicated, the Canadian's return coincides with a punky pop renaissance that has seen former Disney star Olivia Rodrigo crank up the guitars and K-pop singer Wayne Kyer Lisa Note's perfect cover of Lavigne 2002 hit Skater Boy. The singer, 37, is now mentored by Blink-182's Travis Barker, who drums, co-writes and produces, and she sticks to a high-octane, guitar-driven template, moving away from the ballad-heavy tone of 2019's Head Above Water. Like a ticking time bomb, about to explode, she roars on Cannonball, with Barker pounding away on his drum kit. Having had 2 failed marriages, she's in no mood for romance. Bite Me finds her inviting an ex-lover to pick up his clothes from the front yard. "You're gonna wish I was your wifey," she chides. "Love It When You Hate Me" is a he said she said duet with Black Bear. She doesn't possess the vocal range to shine on big piano ballad, Dare to Love Me. Otherwise, her punky chutzpah is just the ticket for the current revival. Former Smith Johnny Marr has played with the Pretenders, the Caribs, and Modest Mouse, and was a contributor to the No Time to Die soundtrack. His solo career has been patchier, and a new album highlights both his strengths and shortcomings. Fever Dreams PTS 1-4 reiterates his stature as one of rock's most versatile guitarists. His energetic riffs are inventively layered, but, across 16 songs, his lack of a frontman's personality are exposed. Hess at his best, fusing rock with New Order-ish synths on Spirit, Power and Soul, and Receiver is similarly steeped in his Mancunian rock roots. Both tracks could come into their own when he takes to the road, supporting Blondie, in the spring. Tears for Fears UK tour starts on July 1. Tears for Fears. Com.